TikTok is a race against the clock. So bring me your old right today, and you could get way more than just plain trade-in value. I'm Andy Sedano, and I'm your dealer for the people. See all the cars at SedanoFord.com. That's right, SedanoFord.com, or visit us at 8970 La Mesa Boulevard in the city of La Mesa.
Order requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price determines actual trade allowance. Negative equity may be refinanced. TikTok is a registered trademark of TikTok Limited, which is not affiliated with Sedano Ford.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for the participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Padres, Blue Jays, today.
Fernando takes off. He's going to steal home without a play.
Pre-game, 12:10. First pitch, 1:10. The Padres play here on 97.3. The Fan.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
This is Joe Musgrove. And Musgrove's 101st pitch of the night is swung on and missed.
The Padres play here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Always live on the free Odyssey app. To take your airwaves back from the usual weekend noise with some local sports talk on the Braden Surprenant Show.
With the stars that they have signed under contract, you can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime.
Sports radio catered to the ones who call America's finest city home.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
The Braden Surprenant Show starts now.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
Good morning, San Diego. Welcome to the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local, each and every Sunday from 8 to 10 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I'm Braden Surprenant, and for the next couple of hours, we'll talk some local sports here in San Diego. As the Open kindly mentions, away from the usual weekend national noise and a show catered to you San Diego sports fans, specifically Padres fans, as we got a Padres ball game coming up at 1:10 p.m. Pacific time today down at Petco Park. Padres trying to salvage this series against the Toronto Blue Jays, who have really gotten the best of the Padres the last couple of days. And I'm going to get to that, obviously, for the majority of the show. I do want to talk some other things as well. As much as I like to give the national media a hard time, because a lot of the stuff that happens on the national sports scene on our airwaves on the weekend does not pertain to us. And why should it, right? It's a national show. It needs to account for a lot of different people throughout the country. There was an interesting topic that was on the tail end of the show leading into my show about NIL, name, image, and likeness in college athletics, and relating it back to San Diego. that we're going to talk about in the next hour. But, Micah Parrish got $400,000 to go play for Ohio State. Micah Parrish. I mean, good for him. Anytime somebody wants to pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars and put you in the top 1% of earners in the United States to play a game, you say, absolutely, where do I sign? So Micah Parrish will not be a member of the San Diego State Aztecs. Instead, he'll be playing at Ohio State. $400,000 for a guy that came off the bench in his first year with the Aztecs and then was a guy that started a little bit last year, but I mean, just another guy, it seemed like, at San Diego State. And I don't want to knock the kid, obviously, but $400,000 for a guy that we don't even know if he's going to be a starter at Ohio State, or maybe he will be. Who knows? I've talked about this before, about how much money some of the players are getting that are just going to be bench pieces. It's amazing. So we'll see how that plays out for Micah Parrish and Ohio State. Now, where San Diego State stands, I mean, their entire budget's like $1.5 million for their basketball team. And they just lost a role player for $400,000. It's an interesting landscape that college athletics is about to go to, especially with the lawsuits they're facing. I'm going to save that for about, the 9 o'clock hour. Let's talk about the San Diego Padres for a second. Padres last couple of days have not looked very good, especially on offense. They've been, Thursday's game or Wednesday's game in Milwaukee was frustrating. That was frustrating. You get an unbelievable outing, and I mean unbelievable outing out of Michael King on Wednesday, and you can't muster a run. You lose 1-0 to the Brewers. You know what? That happens. And the thing is, and my buddy pointed out to me, and I totally agree, the win-loss record for pitchers and outings that, kind of go back and forth. I mean, Michael King was awful the week before on a Friday against the Dodgers and ended up getting the win, or at least a no decision. He was 2-0 in the season. Regardless, he didn't take the loss, and the Padres won that game. And then, sure enough, the next week, he's outstanding, and the Padres can't muster a run, and they lose the game. It usually balances out with the highs and the lows. And with the highs and the lows of the San Diego Padres team, as I've said before, I mean, they're kind of like around a 500 ball club. And that's exactly what they are right now. They're one game under 500. They're 11-12 on the season. So despite going to LA and taking 2 out of 3, and then going to Milwaukee and taking 2 out of 3, had an opportunity to sweep the Brewers going into a tough series against Toronto, and you've now dropped the first 2 games 5-1 and 5-2. And both of those games, the Blue Jays jumped on you early and then didn't hear from them again throughout the rest of the game. As much as I would like to, not really like, I don't like playing the blame game, but as much as it would be easy to say it was Matt Waldron's fault on Friday, you scored 1 run. You scored 1 run against the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, they're good. They're not that good. It was a solo home run by Fernando Tatis Jr. You mustered 5 hits. You're not going to win a lot of games doing that. Matt Waldron gave up the 1 run in the first and then 4 in the second for his 5 earned runs, and did not look like he had it at all. And the Blue Jays, again, were not fooled by Matt Waldron. But you're only able to get 1 run back. I mean, just a bunch of zeros on the board from the Blue Jays pitching staff. You got your leadoff man hitting, under 200, which we'll get into Xander in a second. And here's the thing with Xander. By the way, I'm so glad that not everybody participated in the standing ovation thing on Friday night. That's kind of a joke. Come on, guys. A standing ovation for a guy. What kind of message is that sending to him? This like fake positivity thing that we're going to do. I know I could be negative. I'm going to be negative on that for a second. That's embarrassing, Padres fans. That's embarrassing. And I'm glad we didn't really participate in that fully. I was at the game on Friday night. A standing ovation for what? For like this fake encouragement? These guys see what you say. They see what you say. They know what you're talking about. They see it on social media. And if it isn't them that's seeing it, it's somebody on their team that's seeing it. It's the Padres org seeing it, or it's their family members seeing it. They'll see it, and they'll show it to them. But to give a guy a standing ovation because he's struggling at the plate because it happened to work in Philadelphia for Trey Turner. God, what a terrible idea. Are you kidding me? Terrible. If I'm struggling at work, if I'm just having like a bad couple of weeks, even if I'm struggling at the plate, let's just say from a baseball perspective, I know I'm not playing well. Xander knows he's not playing well. He said in the media, he's just flat out saying, I'm not playing well. You could tell from a guy like Xander Bogaerts that bothers him. He's the type, and I've talked about this before, he is a pro. He's the type of guy where if he struggles, he's not the, yeah, whatever, I'm making tons of money. He's the guy that this is bothering him. And so to make it sound like, oh, yeah, Xander, yeah, we're giving you a standing ovation because you suck right now. No, it's terrible. What kind of message is that setting the player? Guy already knows he's not doing well, and you give him a standing ovation before he comes out to his first at-bat on Friday night. What do you think he's going to do? He's like, oh, tip his cap? Like, oh, thanks. Just support him any other way. I thought that was a terrible idea. And I'm so glad. It looked terrible on TV. It looked terrible at the ballpark. Dumb idea. Let's not do that again. Philadelphia is different than San Diego. Philadelphia is on their players all the time about everything. They throw things at Santa Claus. They boo everybody. That's just who they are. That's not who we are here. I mean, I'm not saying that's the right way to go about things. Because I know there was some drama on social media. You know, Cameron may have been saying, like, you know what? That's just not San Diego. It's not. You can't get offended by that. This is not one of those towns that's just on their guys all the time. Does this town have to be like that? Absolutely not. I think a lot of players usually say, like, well, you know, I play harder in Boston, New York, because they're just on you. You know, they can say that as much as they want, and fans can brag about that in those other cities. I don't think it really makes that big of a difference. These guys are so locked in anyway that, you know, they can block out the outside noise just as much as they could block out maybe the positivity as well. I'm not a fan in being overly positive, but I'm also not a fan of fakeness. I hate fakeness. Say what you mean what you say. Don't just fake BS. I'm out on that. I don't like fake people. I don't like fake ideas. I just don't like fakeness. And I can sniff out if you're fake in 2 seconds. Don't give me this fake vibe. Don't give me a fake nice guy vibe. Don't give me a fake tough guy vibe. Don't give me any type of fake vibes. Friday night, try to give a standing ovation to Xander Bogaerts. Fake. Fake. Hate fakeness. It looks bad. It makes us look bad. I wanted to say that on Friday of last week. I didn't have time to say it on Andy Nelson. Fake. Out on fakeness. Make it legit. Xander Bogaerts going to get out of his slump. I know he is because he's a pro. And it's bothering him, and he's going to find different ways to get out of it. Mike Schultz said it this week on Ben and Woods. He's 100% right. The guy's got the track record. I think a lot of Padres fans are just afraid about some of these large contracts that the team dished out in saying that he's cooked. We got a guy who's cooked. We overpaid for this guy. He's cooked. He's old. He can't play anymore. Just totally eliminating the guy's track record like he wasn't a 2-time World Series winner. And you can say what you want about how it's like, oh, well, he was a part of 2 World Series teams. Doesn't mean it's 2 times. He won 2 World Series. His start to the season right now is an anomaly. This is not the norm for him. I can't imagine a guy like Xander Bogaerts, who in his career has hit 289 in the big leagues in his career, is just all of a sudden not a player anymore at age 31 because of 22 games to start the 2024 season. I don't see it. So here's the thing, and I guess it's a part of age, but as much as I think Jackson Merrill's done a great job, but as much as everybody is just talking about how great Jackson Merrill is and how great of a player he's going to be after 20 games, with the track record that Xander Bogaerts has, 4-time All-Star, 2-time World Series winner, won the MVP twice, has been a finalist for the MVP multiple times, Silver Slug Award winner, and a guy that has hit over 289 in the big leagues with an 807 OPS after 22 games. Like, the guy's cooked. I mean, are you kidding me? Let's relax on Xander Bogaerts. Let him figure it out. It's a long season. And the other thing about Xander is I'm on my soapbox here in the open. Can we stop criticizing the player for the contract that he has? That's not his fault. His contract is not his fault. The team decided to give him $280 million. That's on the team. That's not on Xander. Like I mentioned with Micah Parrish, good for him. He signed for $400,000, so it seems. That's what the report was from Mark Ziegler. He'd be foolish not to take it. The same thing with Xander Bogaerts. Are you kidding me? Well, he should have known that in the future, he potentially would have gone down a little bit in value. You shouldn't have signed $280 million. He should have been a team player. I can't believe it. It's not his fault. Stop getting on Xander Bogaerts because he gets paid $280 million. That's what the Padres decided to do. Guess what? You're stuck with this guy for the next 10 years. So you better start getting used to him being on the team because they're not going to just jettison him off like Eric Hosmer a couple of years ago. They're not getting rid of him. So if you're a Padres fan, I don't know why you would stop booing this guy. Who cares? Just let him do his thing. Unbelievable. It's amazing to me. The overreactions we were getting in the first 22 games of the season. I got news for Padres fans. Here's the deal about the Padres. You ready for this? They're going to be around 500 the entire season. That's who they are. With the holes that they have, with the talent that they have, they're going to be around 500. They're going to go up and down all season long. I got news for baseball fans. That's how every team plays throughout the entire year. Go look back at it. I mean, there's not a lot of teams playing at like a 700 clip or even a 600 clip. For the majority of the season, most Major League Baseball teams are playing around 500. The ones that make the playoffs have a couple more winning streaks than the ones that don't make the playoffs. The ones that don't make the playoffs lose 5. They go on 5 to 10 game losing streaks. Teams that make the playoffs go on 5 to 10 game winning streaks. Think about it from this perspective. If the Padres play 500 all season long, play 500 ball all season long, and for them for 10 straight days, they win games. They go on a 10-game winning streak. They're in the playoffs 10 games over 500. It's simple math. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs of this Padres team. You're already seeing it. The ups of beating the Dodgers 2 out of 3. The downs of losing 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays. And that's not to say that's like a down, because it's not. They're a really good baseball team. It's not like they, lost 3 out of 4 to the Rockies, who they play this week 4 times in Colorado. But the things that have hurt them this season are some of the things that at the beginning of the year we thought would expose them. Lack of pitching depth in the starting rotation, especially if somebody goes down, which was you, right? You's already gone down. Joe looks like he's battling. I thought Dylan Cease and Michael King have been exceptional, but even Michael King has had some ups and downs. I mean, he's still learning how to pitch, be a starter at the major league level, does not have a lot of experience doing that, and you're starting to see him shine a little bit. Can't wait to see his next start. But then you got Matt Waldron at the back. I think Randy Vasquez could be a pretty good pitcher one day. Didn't get any help yesterday. I mean, Graham Pauley, think about this. I mean, yesterday's game, the 5-2 loss, Graham Pauley not getting that out at first base cost them 3 runs because they could have been out of the inning with no further damage. Boots the throw. A couple plays later, 3-run shot. And all of a sudden you're down 3-0 to start the game. Which, by the way, as much as that is difficult to do if you're a team, I mean, you got 9 more. You haven't even hit yet. You got 9 opportunities. And we've seen the Padres be able to come back in those games. But that hurts you. Again, it's the lack of depth on this team. You got a guy like Graham Pauley starting at third base. It's not Graham Pauley's fault. Guy's trying to make a name for himself at the big league level. He's not Manny Machado over there. But you could have had 2 outs in that inning, and then all of a sudden or actually you would have been done. You would have been out of the inning. You had a fly out, you had a double. Would have had the out at third. Turner struck out swinging. You're out of the inning with no runs. Instead, it's 3 runs. Those are some of the little things that the Padres need to be able to take care of. And those are the little things that, again, they're in spots where, based on their personnel, there are weaknesses. And it has nothing to do with, Graham Pauley's doing the best he can, trying to be a Major League Baseball player. It's not his fault. Matt Waldron's doing the best he can. I think you're getting the best effort out of Matt Waldron. Same thing with Tyler Wade. I said it last week. Tyler Wade is trying the best. He is busting his ass for this ball club. That's what you love to see. And that's what's exciting about this team and why they were able to come back last week. They got some of those guys that are grinders that want to make a name for themselves in Major League Baseball. You need some of that mixed in with some of these stars that are making a lot of money. But it's going to be a lot of up and down this year with this Padres team. A lot of up and down. And if you're going to be riding high and getting in line for World Series tickets after every series win and saying this team sucks after every series lost, it's going to be a long year, Padres fan. You're still right there in the middle of the pack, as Nate Taylor points out in the chat, 100%. The missed opportunity yesterday, because if the Padres would have won yesterday, they'd be tied for first place, looking to try to take over first place today by themselves with a win. Instead, they better hope the Mets continue to beat up on the Dodgers, who have been awful. I mean, everything's still right there in the thick of things if you look at the standings with the Padres. 1 game behind LA, half game in front of San Fran and Arizona, and then Colorado's just awful. But you never know what you're going to get in division games, what you got this week. You're right there. You just can't let one of those teams that's not you jump out to a huge lead. So keep up with the pace. And here's the last thing that I'm going to say on this kind of beginning part of the season for the Padres before we start really diving into the show. I'm going to say it every week until the first 2 months are over. And the first month is almost over since today is April 21st. But with the Padres schedule in the first 2 months, as long as they're within 5 games of 500, they're in a good spot. If they can finish the first 2 months at or around 500, they're going to be in a good spot for the rest of the season based on the opponents they play. We've gone through it a couple of times already. But after this series, they got Colorado, which it's not a gimme, especially in division games. Division games on the road. You know, Coors Field's been a house of horrors just as much as the Bob in Arizona, which is not even called the Bob anymore, Banquet Ballpark. Chase Field. We got Colorado for 4. Might be a break. We'll see how some of these guys do pitching at high altitude. Not all of those pitches seem to work. And then you got Philly and Cincy, who have been on heaters. Cincinnati's a pretty good baseball team. Then you go to Arizona for the first time. At Chicago, who you've already played. The Cubs have been really good. Host the Dodgers. Rockies break again. Division opponent. Can't get too excited about that. Down to Atlanta for 4, to Cincinnati for 3. You welcome the Yankees. I mean, that's a tough stretch. So if you can finish that at around 500, you're going to be in a good spot. A lot of up and down. Everybody needs to take a deep breath. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right, Padres fans. It's a round of 500 club that has the ability to go on a little bit of a run, and that will be the determining factor if they make the playoffs or not. We're going to talk more Padres. We're going to break down a little bit more of last night's game, get you a little preview of tonight's game as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit about lineup construction. What have I seen the last 2 days that tells me why you need to bat Fernando Tatis Jr. leadoff and why the narrative of he needs to drive in runs needs to be squashed? I'm going to tell you that when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show, live and local, each and every Sunday morning from 8 to 10 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Baseball season with Jesse Agler and Tony Gwynn Jr. You can stream Padres baseball on the Odyssey app. Stream it to any device. Remember to follow 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, I'm Brett Podolsky. co-founder of The Farmer's Dog. We make fresh food for dogs. We started the company when we saw what a huge difference it made in my own dog, Jada, when she stopped eating ultra-processed kibble and started eating fresh, whole food. The Farmer's Dog food isn't fancy. It's just real food delivered to your door in pre-portioned packs. It's better for them and easier for you.
Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio. That's thefarmersdog.com/radio.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
Almost every week, kidney specialists at Sharp Healthcare perform a transplant from a living donor, like Caleb from North Park, who gave a kidney to a high school friend on dialysis. Sandra donated to a woman she met on TikTok. Terry, a father from Rancho Peñasquitos, gave a kidney to his adult son. But still, there's a list of 615 Sharp patients awaiting a kidney, surviving day by day, hoping for the life-changing call. But donating is easier than you may think. Kidneys come from friends, family, co-workers, and even from a complete stranger, like you. Adults can donate at any age, and you'll live normally, except for the privilege of forever knowing you saved a life. Learn how at sharp.com/givelife. 615 San Diegans are hoping you will.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, gang, it's your old pal, Woodsy. Imagine, if you would, waking up this time next week and being 100% personal debt-free. That's credit cards, that's car loans, even personal loans that you might have taken out. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make that happen for you. Homeowners turning their home's equity into cash almost instantly with Loan Pronto's AI-based system. You can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You could get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home, use that money to pay off all of your other loans that you have out there. The average homeowner is saving over $850 a month doing this. Your home's value is up. Use that to wipe out your credit card debt. Get some money for a home improvement project that you've been putting off. Now's the time to do that. Hundreds of thousands of dollars at your fingertips. Approval is just minutes away. So call them today, 619-207-4336. Ask again about their Equity Express line of credit, 619-207-4336, or go to loanpronto.com. 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Hey, 27 on a Sunday morning. Thanks again for tuning in to the Braden Surprenant Show live and local each and every Sunday on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We'll be going out to the Padre game today. I was undefeated at Petco Park this year. And then I started to go with my buddy, Matt Perez. And he, I think, has hurt the ball club. The guy's 0 for 5 at Petco Park this year. He's not going to the game today. So if the Padres win, I think we have found our problem. He might be banned from Petco Park just for the betterment of the Padres. Trying to win some ball games here. He might be the curse at Petco Park. We'll see what happens today. I did want to talk a little bit about the lineup for the San Diego Padres, but we might have to push that to the next segment. This kind of went a little bit long in our first one, but I'm going to the game today. It should be a fun time as the fan is going to be in full force. All of us are going to be down there for our biggest fan giveaway that happened last year. So one lucky fan won a day in the suite with all us 97.3 The Fan personalities. So we'll all be down there at the ballpark today. So if you see any of us walking around and walking about, feel free to say hi. I'll be wearing my 97.3 The Fan polo. Microphone's in the way. Not a bad look. A little Nike gear. Thanks to the corporate offices for dishing those out. So it's going to be Joe Musgrove today. We'll see how Joe does. I will say this about Joe, as much as it looks, I mean, his first couple innings have not been very good this year. But every time that he has pitched, guy's giving you some innings. I mean, he's given you some opportunities to win, and he has not gone down without a fight every single time. And it just looks like he's a little off right now. I mean, it just looks like something is not right with him. He'll never admit that, but that's just what it looks like as he pitches. So I don't know if he's dealing with anything. I mean, I don't really know. I'm not going to speculate, but he just doesn't look like Joe Musgrove right now. But I will say this. I mean, the guy is a grinder. And he's tough because all of those outings, I mean, all of these outings that he has had this year that have not looked very good, where he's given up 4 earned runs and 3 earned runs, he's given you innings. I mean, he's given you 6 innings twice, and you've won both of those games. One of them against the Cardinals, he actually did look very good. He only gave up that 1 run with 7 punch-outs. But even his last outing against Milwaukee, right, he gives up 3 runs very early, gave up the bomb. His ERA doesn't look very good right now, but he got you 6. And the Padres are 2-0 when he gets you 6. So hopefully he can get him 6 this time out. He'll give him 2 2/3 in Korea, but the Padres did win that game 15-11. Padres 3-2, and Joe Musgrove starts this year 2-2 in decisions. But guy gives you 6 innings. I think you're going to be in a good spot. I think Fernando Tatis Jr. needs to bat leadoff on this team. I think he needs to bat leadoff on this team. I think he's your scariest batter in the order. I think he's the player that teams are afraid of the most. And I think there needs to be a little bit of movement in that lineup, which we haven't seen yet out of Mike Schilt, which is surprising. I do find it very funny. Here's what I find funny. For the last 2 to 3 years, maybe even 3 to 4 years, however long I've been on air here at 97 through the Fan, whether it be in the pre and post role or, working in the midday show or even this show right now, for the last 3 to 4 years, we have heard so many times Why doesn't the managers keep the lineup the same? I mean, these guys are changing all over the place all the time. Keep it the same. Let them get into the groove just like they used to back in the old. There's a reason why they used to do it. 3 to 4 years. I mean, it's just like, keep it the same. Mike Schilt finally keeps it the same. All of a sudden, people are like, you got to move it around. You can't have the same lineup every day. It's terrible. You got to move it around. Got to keep moving it around. It's funny to me. I find it incredibly fun. I find it entertaining. I do. People are gonna have a reason to bitch about things all the time, and just it's the lineup now. I think the lineup does need to change though. I would do things a little bit differently. I'm gonna tell you what my lineup would be when we come back, and I'm gonna explain to you why it's important to have Fernando bat leadoff and not anywhere else in the Padres lineup. When we come back, Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every Sunday from 8 to 10 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Woods on the fan. Good on Dolly Parton stepping up, and it looks like her money definitely went to some good use.
She should probably rewrite her famous song as well. You know the one I'm talking about, Polly.
I mean, the first one that I
vaccine,
don't
vaccine, 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 vaccine. You know that one, right?
Listen to Ben and Woods, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, this is Chris Ella from Gwynn and Chris, and I got great news for those of you that are fans of Spiro's Mediterranean cuisine like I am. You can now find Spiro's at Petco Park and enjoy one of Spiro's traditional gyros or their new Hora Tiki Bowl if you like a little zing. Look for Spiro's on the third baseline, main concourse, and experience the delicious food and flavors of the Mediterranean. Try Spiro's in Coronado, La Jolla, or now Petco Park. For dining and takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com. And don't forget the tzatziki sauce.
Want to put your baseball skills to the test? Then get ready to show your stuff with MLB Pitch, Hit, and Run, the official youth skills competition of Major League Baseball. Sign up for free for a chance to play your way to the Pitch, Hit, and Run finals at the 2024 World Series. Visit pitchhitrun.com today.
We all know what UV rays can do to our skin, but they can also do damage to your car. Keep that from happening with 303 Protectant. 303 Protectant keeps the sun's harmful rays from causing fading and cracking in rubber, plastic, or vinyl surfaces. From the dashboard to the tires, 303 Protectant keeps your car looking new longer. Get 303 Protectant today at AutoZone. Visit 303radio.com for more information.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Honey, it's our favorite leaf filter trusted pro, Matt. Matt, come in, come in.
Hi, Mrs. Sparks. You wanted me to stop by? Is everything okay with your leaf filter gutter protection system?
Okay, of course, silly. We wanted you to stop by for dinner as our way of thanking you.
Yes, to thank you for that free gutter inspection, the free estimate, and what was the other thing?
That lifetime guarantee.
Well, Mr. and Mrs. Sparks, those are just Leaf Filter's policies. Everyone who calls Leaf Filter gets a trusted pro to come out for a free gutter inspection and estimate. And every Leaf Filter installation comes with a lifetime guarantee.
So it's not just us?
No, sir. We don't want anyone to worry about clogged gutters ever again.
You mean everyone gets this level of service?
Everyone. They just need to visit leaffilter.com/sports to schedule their free inspection.
Okay, but you must be starving. You work so hard.
Ready to love your gutter protection as much as we do? Visit leaffilter.com/sports and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, gang, it's your old pal, Woodsy. Imagine if you would waking up this time next week and being 100% personal debt-free. That's credit cards, that's car loans, even personal loans that you might have taken out. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make that happen for you. Homeowners turning their home's equity into cash almost instantly with Loan Pronto's AI-based system. You can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You could get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home, use that money to pay off all of your other loans that you have out there. The average homeowner is saving over $850 a month doing this. Your home's value is up. Use that to wipe out your credit card debt. Get some money for a home improvement project that you've been putting off. Now's the time to do that. Hundreds of thousands of dollars at your fingertips. Approval is just minutes away. So call them today, 619-207-4336. Ask again about their Equity Express line of credit, 619-207-4336, or go to loanpronto.com. 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. N61, visit staples.com/print for details.
Get the one and done you want for your dog's monthly protection. NexGard Plus, a Foxalon or Moxidectin and Pyrantel chewable tablet. Protects against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. All in one delicious, beef-flavored soft chew. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection prior to starting a preventive. Ask your vet about NexGard Plus chews.
It's always baseball season on 97.3 The Fan. Listen to your favorite sports station on the go using the free Odyssey app. Download it today.
Welcome back to the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every Sunday from 8 to 10 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We're talking Padres lineups. Got a lot of people throwing their ideas out there on the chat. Be sure to follow me on social media at B_SURP. Hit the like button on the YouTube video. All of you guys tuning in on the YouTube feed. Love it. Appreciate it. At B_SURP on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube. I put that out last week, trying to build my following on YouTube too. We got a lot of extra stuff on my YouTube page. So thanks again for a couple of you that are watching on that. That's at B_SURP. Same thing as everything else. So if you go on YouTube and search that, give me a follow, if you will, or subscribe to that YouTube channel as well for more content on my own. B_SURP all over social media. B_SURP. Be sure to drop the follow. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever it may be. And again, of course, on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. We are live on the radio. We are live on my YouTube page on 97.3 The Fan's YouTube page, on the Fan Twitter account, 97.3 The Fan SD. Fan Facebook page, 97.3 The Fan. We're also on Twitch, so thank you for you, EC Money, in the chat. I know you're watching on Twitch at 97.3 The Fan, and then, of course, my Twitter account, B_SURP. We're also live on Instagram, so if you're driving around, whatever, you like what you hear, and you want to continue it when you get home, you can fire it up on Instagram as well, at B_SURP. We're broadcasting live on all of those outlets, on top of the fact that we are live on the radio as well. So a multifaceted show all over the place and wherever you can find us. You can also listen to all of our shows as they are recorded everywhere, again, on YouTube, but also in a podcast form as well. So wherever you find your podcast, subscribe, give us a like, give us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast. The Braden Surprenant Show is on it, and we have a lot of good content on there as well. Thanks again for everybody joining us today in the chat, putting out their lineups of what they think that the Padres should do. I am in the category or the camp that says you should bet Fernando Tatis Jr. #1 to start a game off. And I think that for a lot of different reasons. Now, one of them being the fact that he's a very fast player. He's a very versatile player. But I used the term this week, and the term was he's scary. And I think a lot of teams know he is scary. He's probably the scariest player on the Padres. If you look at all 9 guys in the order, who are you most afraid of coming to the dish? It's Fernando Tatis Jr. I'm going to make it even simpler for you. Not necessarily simpler, but here's a comparison. I know you Padre fans. We all hate the Dodgers, right? With the game on the line and the Padres with a 1-run lead against LA, who's the one batter in that order that you don't want to see? Is it Shohei Ohtani? I don't really know if it's Shohei Ohtani right now. I think it's Mookie Betts. How many times has Mookie Betts beat the Padres on some big knock late in the game? I'm afraid of Mookie as an opposing team. Who's the one guy I don't want to see in the 9th inning? Up a run? It's Mookie Betts. Where does Mookie Betts hit in the Dodgers lineup? He bats leadoff. They lead off with Mookie. There's something to be said about that. You have your best player starting off the game. You're already making stressful pitches to start the game. Already making stressful pitches to start the game. You are afraid. If Tatis is batting leadoff against you, you're sitting there going like, I already got to deal with this guy. So I bat Fernando number 1. At the very least, I bat Jurickson number 1. And that's just because, and we talked about it before. I'll ask the question again for anybody that hasn't heard it on Andy Nelston. What is the worst possible outcome of a Jurickson Profar at bat? Knowing Jurickson Profar, knowing what he can do, understanding what his at-bats are as a Padre, think about the worst Jurickson Profar at-bat you have seen. It was probably 6 to 7 pitches long. So at the very worst, the very least, worst case scenario with Jurickson Profar batting leadoff, he's going to see 6 or 7 pitches to get a pop up to the infield. 6 to 7 pitches, the quality AB. Yeah, him getting thrown out of the game. Hey, you know what, Eric? He saw a lot of pitches. He fouled off like 3 or 4. Be a nice little spark to the game. Your leadoff batter argues balls and strikes, gets thrown out of the game. Get Mike Schultz up there all fired up, sticking up for his team. It's like in hockey, you get into a fight, start tapping the side. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. That would be awesome. So I think at the very least, you'd have Profar bat leadoff. But I like Fernando in the leadoff spot. Now, this is where it kind of gets tricky for me because I think there's multiple ways to skin a cat here. I've thought about Xander in the 2 spot. I mean, he already said like batting leadoff is not what. No, that's not his an excuse. But for a guy that really doesn't like batting second, I don't even want to mess with that. I mean, I'm not even going to waste my time messing with that. He's hitting 242 in his career batting 2. He said it last year. I don't like batting second. I don't like catering to players like that. But if you look at his BABIP for every single spot in the order, his worst BABIP is batting second. It's 280. His batting average on balls in play, 316 as a leadoff hitter, 350 batting third, 348 batting fourth, 334 batting fifth, 311 batting sixth. I didn't want to mention batting seventh. It's not even a high enough sample size. Batting eighth, 384, and then the 15 games, batting ninth at 318. I guess the only other spot was batting seventh, where he hits 200. That's the worst spot Bogaerts has ever hit, is batting seventh. And I don't even know if that was like in his first year or not. But batting 2, he's batting 2. He has a 280 BABIP, a 242 batting average, a 683 OPS. Get him out of the. I'm not even going to waste my time with him in the 2-hole. And I don't want to move him down out of the top 4 either. The guy's making $280 million. He's batting in the top 3 spots. So I'd probably go Jake Cronenworth too. You're still putting him in between Fernando and whoever else may be in there. I'd probably put Cronenworth too. He's been hitting really well. I think him betting behind Fernando's a good spot. You know, I don't mind him in the 2-hole. I think he's more of a 2-hitter than a 3-hitter anyway. And this might sound crazy. I'm going to tell you right now. I think this is a great way to get him going. I would bet Xander Bogaerts 3. People are just like, oh, scoff. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I'll bet him 3rd. Out of all the places that Xander has hit in his career, he has hit 3rd the most. He's played 480 games batting 3rd. He has started 477 games in the 3 spot. He has 2,122 plate appearances, 1,920 at-bats. He has scored 313 runs. He has 588 hits. Out of all the spots in the order that Xander has hit, the 3-hole, he has the best average. He's hitting 306 with a 364 on base percentage, a 471 slug, and an 835 OPS. I'll bat him 3rd. His 350 BABIP is great. Rolls over too many pitches to hit 2nd. I got news for you, RGB. Everybody on this team rolls over to DPs. I've seen enough double plays to understand that. All these guys roll over. You're not going to prevent a double play with these guys. Their situational hitting needs to be better. Here's the other thing with Fernando batting leadoff. He could steal 2nd. In fact, he might steal 2nd if he's batting leadoff. That's leadoff, get a knock, go over 2. I think too many people when constructing lineups are worried about things that they really cannot control, and they're overthinking it. 2 things that I think people overthink all the time. 1, guys that hit ground balls, therefore they can't hit. I mean, there's too many spots where he'd be a double play. I mean, if he bats 5th and you start the 2nd inning, leadoff guy gets on, and Xander's batting 5th, roller DP. I mean, how many? There's only so many positions you could put him where it's not an immediate double play if he rolls over on a ground ball. I got news for you. If a guy rolls over on a ground ball, he's probably out. You're not going to be able to prevent that in a batting order. That's one myth that I like to throw out. Here's the other one. I might save it for the end of this order. Let me get to the order first. But there's another myth that I'm tired of listening to because it doesn't make any sense. Aside from the 1st inning, it makes no sense. So I'd go Fernando 1, I'd go Cronenworth 2, I'd go Xander 3, I'd go Manny 4. I really want Manny Machado in the top 3 spots. So maybe Manny could bat 2. I don't mind Manny batting 2. I'd actually prefer that over Jake, to be honest. Now I'm talking myself out of the Jake thing. I think I'm too high on Jake right now because he's off to a great start. I mean, ideally, Jake Cronenworth on a playoff team's batting way lower in the order. But Manny Machado batting 2, I could see Manny Machado batting 2. I think that's a good spot for him. I don't know what his splits are. I'd have to look that up real quick. But Manny Machado batting 2nd, behind Fernando, in front of Xander, be pretty solid. A lot of dudes, some swings, not a lot of speed. Then 281 in the 2 spot. Not bad. It's a pretty good spot for him. It's better than batting 3rd. Not as good as him batting 4th, but he's only played 152 games batting 4th. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go Fernando 1, and I'm going to go Manny Machado 2. So I'll go Manny 2 as the, quote, DH right now, since he is not ready for 3rd base yet. I want to go Xander 3, because at the end of the day, those are your best 3 players. Those are the 3 guys that need to be getting up as many times as possible. Those are the 3 players that should be up to bat in the 1st inning to start every game. Those 3 guys should have guaranteed an at-bat to start a game in some order. Fernando 1, Manny 2, Xander 3. Now you get to the 4 spot. Is Jake Cronenworth a cleanup hitter? Not really. Not really. I think Camposano could be a cleanup hitter in the long term. But as of right now, I guess Jake would probably be my 4 hitter until further notice as the first baseman. I'd probably go Jurickson's hot right now. I mean, he's not really a 5-hitter either. Here's where you run into some serious problems with the Padres. They don't really have a 4, 5, and 6. They don't exist. They're not on the team. You don't have a real 4-hitter, a real 5-hitter, or a real 6-hitter on this team. You don't have one. Ideally, Cronenworth and Profar and Kim and Campusano and Jackson Merrill, those are all guys that should be batting 7, 8, and 9 in most playoff rosters. And you could talk, I mean, you could say what you want, and it's like, well, we're a really good team, whatever. I mean, look at the playoff teams. They're all-star teams. Want to know why? Because of the trade deadline. So to me, if the Padres are going to make a run in the playoffs, they're going to have to find some depth in 4, 5, 6. That's why I don't mind Jurickson Profar batting leadoff, that he can move things around again. But we're going to put Profar at 5 for now, starting in left field. I don't really know what to me, like, Kim's like a 7-hitter in reality. I think in most playoff teams, he might be a 7-hitter. He might be a place where he's batting like 9th. I mean, I wouldn't mind him flipping a lineup over. Maybe he's batting 8th, but right now, I think he's 7 on the team. I'd probably go Luis Campusano 6, as I'm thinking out loud. And then your 8 spot is whoever's playing third base. That could be Graham Pauley. That could be Eggy Rosario. You could put Tyler Wade. I mean, just whoever's playing third that night, to me, is batting 8th. And then I'm putting Jackson Merrill 9. There's a couple of things I want to break down with this, and I guess I'm running out of time. So, myth number 1 on the whole lineup thing. Well, you can't bat Fernando leadoff because you need guys on base for him to drive in runs. Aside from his first at-bat, it doesn't matter. That has no bearing on anything else. He's not going to bat leadoff every inning he leads, every inning he hits. It's just a rotation now after that. So aside from the first at-bat, who you want your best guy up anyway, there's got to be guys on base for Fernando Tatis Jr. And if they're not, that's not Fernando's fault. That's the rest of the team's fault. And who better than to put Jackson Merrill on base for Fernando Tatis Jr.? That's why he's batting 9. If you bat Jackson Merrill 9, not only can he stay true to him and be the young guy that doesn't have to worry about it, doesn't have to do too much, but if he gets on base, who's up next? It's Fernando. Almost like he's a 2-hitter. And then you got Manny Machado coming up next, almost like he's a 3-hitter. And then you got Bogarts coming up next, almost like he's a 4-hitter. Then you have 2 separate 1 through 4s on this team. Really supplying the second leadoff guy with Jackson Merrill batting 9. So I'd go Fernando 1. I'd go Manny 2. I'd go Xander 3. I'd go Cronenworth 4. I'd go Profar 5. Campusano 6. Kim 7. Whoever's playing third base 8. And Jackson Merrill 9. Here's the problem with him batting like 7. Here, Jackson Merrill batting 7. The problem with Jackson Merrill batting 7, who's going to drive him in? Who's getting him over after he gets on base? Tyler Wade? Graham Pauley? Eggy Rosario? Kyle Higashioka? Let him bat 9. Xander Bogaerts does his best spot in the 3 spot, Jesse. Best spot in the 3 spot. Guy's a pro, you're paying him $280 million. Bat him in between Machado and Cronenworth. Get him a better spot. Get him in a place he feels comfortable. He'll say it as much as he wants. He doesn't want to. The batting leadoff's not a factor. But to have this emotional reaction to Xander starters, he needs to bat 6th or 7th. Or, I saw people say, like, we got to send him down. Are you out of your mind? He's on the team for the next 10 years. You better figure out a way to get that guy going. And just quitting on him and putting him at the bottom of the lineup is not an answer. He needs the bat in the top 4 spots. That's my lineup. What would yours be? Tatis, Machado, Bogarts, Cronenworth, Profar, Campusano, Kim, whoever's playing third, Jackson Merrill. I think you got a lot of different ways you can go with the top 3 and the bottom 3. I think the biggest problem for the Padres, they don't have a real 4, 5, or 6 in this lineup. We'll talk more Padres baseball when we come back. We also want to dive into San Diego State NIL. Coming up in hour 2, Braden Surprenant Show live and local. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Padres, Blue Jays, today.
Fernando takes off. He's going to steal home without a play.
Pre-game, 12:10. First pitch, 1:10. The Padres play here on 97.3 The Fan.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Flo here from Progressive to tell you how you get more than great savings with us. You get customer service access through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
That's a lot of ways I can get in touch with you. I see what's going on here. You can't name favorites, but I'm your #1 customer.
Actually, we offer all our customers these ways to contact us.
I'm sure you give just any customer your personal
company
contact info.
Well, you did call us more than any other customer this year. So in that sense, you are our #1 customer.
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, gang, it's your old pal, Woodsy, and this is the spring sale that you've been waiting for at Sedano Ford in La Mesa. As your local, veteran-owned dealer, Sedano Ford has incredible deals this truck month, like the 2024 Ford F-150 STX, just $299 a month, with 15 acres of the largest vehicle inventory in San Diego. If you can dream it, Sedano Ford can get you behind the wheel. They're going to work with you. Plus, their mobile service comes right to you at your home or work. You don't have to worry about finding time for car maintenance. What a load off. Don't miss out on these spring savings at your veteran-owned Manny Sedano Ford in La Mesa. Visit SedanoFord.com today. Tell them Woodsy sent you. And now here's my good friend, Manny Sedano.
Let's talk San Diego. Manny Sedano here from Sedano Ford. Worried your credit will lose you followers? I'm always your biggest fan. My team works round the clock to help you get approved, so bring me your old right today, and you could get way more than just plain trade-in value. I'm Manny Sedano, and I'm your dealer for the people.
If you're looking for the most epic place on earth, let's start at the base of a massive waterfall. Then trek through the thick jungle. Then climb to the peak of a snowy mountaintop. Then once you get there, keep going. Because with intelligent 4x4 and 7 drive modes and a Nissan Pathfinder, the search is the real adventure.
Available feature. Intelligent 4x4 cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
If you say you couldn't use a long weekend in Las Vegas, we'd call you a liar. Listen to 97.3 The Fan for 3 chances to qualify for a free getaway to Sin City.
This is one vacation I'm really looking forward to.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
This is Manny Machado from the San Diego Padres.
A no doubter for Manny Machado. The Padres play here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Time to take your airwaves back from the usual weekend noise with some local sports talk on the Braden Surprenant Show.
With the stars that they have signed under contract, you can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
Sports radio catered to the ones who call America's finest city home.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
The Braden Surprenant Show starts now.
I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
Hour number 2 on the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every Sunday morning, 8 to 10. Talking about last night's game leading into today's game for the San Diego Padres, trying to salvage the series against the Toronto Blue Jays. It was a tough night last night. Tough night in the last couple of nights for the offense. Need a little shakeup. And we're talking lineup construction. earlier in the last segment. A lot of people chiming in on their lineups. If you want to comment on the show, go on to YouTube. Be part of the YouTube chat. A lot of people in there today. Thanks to all of you for joining us today on the YouTube, whether it be on my YouTube page at B_SURP. Google search Braden Surprenant. You can find it on YouTube. Also, 97 through the Fans YouTube page. You can also watch us on X, 97 through the Fan SD, or my Twitter account, X account, B_SURP. And then on the 97 through the Fan Facebook page and on 97 through the Fans Twitch page. Thanks to all of you for tuning in today. Be part of our day as we get you ready for Padres baseball, whether or not you're getting up and getting ready to start your day. You got some travel ball today. You got some youth sports, going to breakfast as a family before the Padre game. Maybe heading down to the Padre game today. I'm going to be down there after the end of the show. I'm going to cruise down to Petco Park in about, I don't know, in an hour or so. And see a lot of you fans down there at the ballpark. It'll be a good time. Looking forward to it. Joe Musgrove on the hill today for our Padres. And we'll see what we got today as they try to salvage the series. Blue Jays, again, jumped out early in the first two games. And Padres haven't been able to overcome the first couple of spots. We were talking about the lineup, and I said it before. We had a lot of people in the chat, as I mentioned before. You can also tweet at us. Call into the show, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Nate Taylor had a lineup that was pretty similar to mine. Tatis, Manny X, Jake Kim Pro, Camp third base guy, Jackson. Very similar to my lineup that I just gave out. And I mentioned before, I mean, I think to me, this lineup, they're missing a 4, 5, and 6 hitter. I had Fernando, Manny, Xander, Jake, Jurickson, Camp, Kim, whoever plays third base, Jackson Merrill. I think you got enough guys in this team that can go 1, 2, 3. I think there's enough guys in this team that are 7, 8, 9. I don't really think you have a 4, 5, and 6. That's a bit the big difference between this team and in 2022. I mean, think about the time the Padres made the playoffs last, right? And they made the run to the NLCS. That 4, 5, and 6 had guys like Brandon Drury in there. Padres don't have a Brandon Drury at 4, 5, and 6 right now. They had a Josh Bell in the 4, 5, and 6 spot. They don't have a Josh Bell this year in the 4, 5, and 6. I mean, if you look at the lineup that they had in some of these playoff games, they had some dudes in the middle. I mean, they just don't have that right now. And those are pieces, as Abraham Ochoa says in the chat, that the Padres would have to add at the deadline. I mean, if you look at the Padres win that they had against Philadelphia in the NLCS, they led off with Profar, which I actually like too. I like Profar in the leadoff spot. Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Jake Cronenworth, Brandon Drury, Josh Bell. I mean, you got Drury as your 5, Josh Bell as your 6, Kim is your 7, and then you got Grisham and Nola. I think your 7, 8, 9 on this team are better than the 7, 8, 9 on the NLCS team. But the problem is you don't have any heavy hitters in the 4, 5, and 6 spots, which you have to account for if you want to make the postseason. Why not Azekar? Why not Azekar what? In the lineup? I mean, he's not in a playoff lineup, in my opinion. That has nothing to do with Sugar. He's a good player, but he's not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're getting out of him in a playoff lineup per se. I wouldn't mind Profar in the leadoff spot either. But I like Fernando. I like starting the game off with Fernando. I mean, if you look at that NLCS lineup and you throw Fernando in there, it's a different story. They probably make the World Series, or at least make a little bit better of a run in the NLCS against the Phillies. And we all know what happened there. But, you know, if you had Profar there in the 1 spot and then, you know, put Fernando 2 and the Machado 3, Cronenworth 4, I mean, that's you got the same guys right now that you did back then. Except you add Xander Bogaerts and they got a pretty decent top 5. A lot better than what you had in 2022. But again, you still need a 4, 5, and 6 with this depth of this team, which they currently do not have. Friday night's game, as I mentioned before, I mean, Matt Waldron didn't look very good. It wasn't all on him, though. He mustered 5 hits against the Blue Jays. I don't care if they're red hot or not. You got to be able to win games against good teams if you want to, be successful in Major League Baseball. And they couldn't do it against the Blue Jays team that did pretty well. I mean, they took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees on the way down here to San Diego. And then in yesterday's game, again, a little bit more of the same. Deficit early, tough to come out of. And then had a couple opportunities late, but really not anything that had some value to it in the last couple innings. But this Padres team, again, as I mentioned before, it's going to be a lot of up and down. It's going to be a lot of up and down. It's going to be a lot of, kind of win 2 or 3, lose 2 or 3. Win 2 or 3, lose 2 or 3. As long as they don't have the losing streak more than 5 games, they'll be in a pretty good spot because as most Major League Baseball teams do, and as I mentioned in the first hour, they play about 500 ball and then go on a 10-game winning streak. Continue to look at some of the things in your chat. Abraham Ochoa is on it with this. Really think about it with the Dodgers struggling. This is when the Padres should strike and get first in the division. 100%. 100%. We've seen this movie before. We've seen this episode before with the Los Angeles Dodgers, especially when they acquire new talent. It takes them a little bit in the first couple months to get going. They kind of hover around 500. We've seen that in the past with teams being able to get them. I mean, the Giants, who had that insane year, what was that, 21? Where they won like 105 games. I mean, they jumped out on the Dodgers early in the season with a lead because the Dodgers were kind of just puttering around. And right now, I mean, that's why I thought last night when I saw the Mets win their second game against the Dodgers, I was like, Padres are in a good spot right here. If they can win tonight and win tomorrow, they guarantee themselves first place by Monday. Because you have to remember in baseball, you start looking at games back. It's not like football where you got, 2 to 3 games back. It's just 2 to 3 weeks and, we win and they lose and it's simple. In baseball with series, it's basically if you want to catch a team, however many games back you are, that's how many series back you are in reality. Because there's not a lot of times where you're going to be winning 3 games in a row and the other team's not, and the other team's going to be losing 3 games in a row. It's very hard to sweep teams in Major League Baseball. So you got to be thinking in series-wise. So the Padres game back from LA going into this weekend needed to win 2 out of 3, and the Dodgers needed to lose 2 out of 3, and you catch the game. But with the Padres going 0-2, if they win today and the Dodgers win, I mean, they're just going to stay at the same. So they're 1 series behind LA right now in the standings. So when you think about it and you look at the standings, especially, I mean, I remember times and there was years where the Padres weren't very good, right? They're like 10 games out with 35 to play. It's like, oh, it's not too bad. I mean, it's, still got 35 games. That's 10 series. You're 10 series back. So if you look at the standings in Major League Baseball, the Rockies are 6.5 games out of first place. That means the Rockies, in order to catch the Dodgers, would have to win their next 6 series, and the Dodgers need to lose their next 6 series. And they would be at the same level. So just a little perspective on that when you start, breaking down. That's why it's important not to fall behind a team that's struggling right now in the Los Angeles Dodgers and stay around that 1 game spot to be able to get them back. A half game in front of Arizona and San Francisco. Those 2 teams will play each other again today. They split the first 2 games of that series. It's going to be a fun National League West. But they're just sitting there like 1 game under 500. They got to be able to go on a little bit of a run here early to try to keep pace with Los Angeles. Because eventually they're not going to be 3-7 in their last 10. They will be 9-1 in their last 10. So this is a good opportunity for the boys to keep pace with Los Angeles and not let them get into a spot that's just insurmountable or you're 20 games out and you're just battling for a wild card spot. MLB.com put out a list. 10 offseason additions already paying off in a big way. Number 1 was Juan Soto, who has been on an absolute tear for the New York Yankees. Although reigning AL Cy Young Award winner Garrett Cole is sidelined with an elbow injury, superstar slugger Aaron Judge has a .682 OPS. Yankees nonetheless own MLB's best record, with Juan Soto being a driving force. He's hitting .354, the .469 on base, .608 slash, 5 homers, 18 walks. 18 walks. That's a lot. 20 RBIs in 21 games, all are providing much improved defense in right field so far. 25-year-old who could test free agency at season's end has already been hearing MVP chants in the Bronx. I doubt he ends up staying with the Yankees, but I said at the beginning of the year, if the Yankees are going to be good, it's going to be because Juan Soto is carrying that team because they don't have the pitching that a lot of teams do. And you already know Aaron Judge is going to get hurt eventually. And you also know Giancarlo Stanton's going to get hurt eventually. They got a lot of old, ailing players on that Yankees team. They do have some young guys too, but Juan Soto's going to have to carry that team, and so far he's done it. Shohei Ohtani, I don't know. I mean, he's done okay, right? He's done pretty good. I haven't really been afraid. He hasn't really jumped out to a long stretch yet. Corbin Burns of the Orioles comes in number 3. Talk about Tyler O'Neill, who's off to a great start with the Red Sox. Shota Imanaga for the Cubs. Michael Busch has been absurd for the Cubs. Seth Lugo for the Royals has done pretty well. Jordan Hicks for the Giants. And Padres, number 9, Dylan Cease. I love the fact that Dylan Cease has been pretty good this year. I mean, he's been outstanding. And the thing with Dylan Cease for the Padres, you know, as much he kind of struggles with command, but he's got some really wicked stuff that we've always known when he was a White Sox. That's been a big pickup for the Padres so far. Didn't add him until March 13th. Darvish is battling the injury. Joe Musgrove trying to work his way through some struggles. Cease has been the main piece right now in short order. 1.99 ERA, 27 punch outs. Opponents hitting 130 against him over 22 2/3 innings. Over 4 starts, looking much closer to the pitcher who placed second in the AL Cy Young Award race in 2022 than the one who finished 2023 the 4.58 ERA. Dylan Cease could be the difference maker between the Padres making the playoffs and the Padres making a run in the postseason. Been outstanding. And I think he's going to get better too. I totally agree with you guys in the chat. I think he is going to get better. And I think eventually he will be the number 1 in this rotation moving forward in the next kind of stint here. And we'll see what happens when they try to move things around when they bring Darvish back. I mean, now at this point, you know, with Darvish being out and Randy Vasquez taking his spot, Randy didn't do that bad of a job. I mean, he gave that one bad pitch that was the one run that he allowed. But if it wasn't for the Pauly error, you know, maybe the Padres win 2-1 last night. Never know after the first inning play. But Vasquez is now your 5 in the 1 spot, which means Joe's your 1, Dylan's your 2, King's your 3, Waldron's your 4, and Vasquez is your 5. So when you comes back, I'm curious how they flip it around again. And it's kind of same thing with the batting order. I mean, after the line through it, until you get to the playoffs, it doesn't really matter. You know, the rotation order. I mean, you could be like Dave Roberts and finagle it as much as you want, but everybody goes in the same order. That's why I said again, I don't mind having Fernando bat leadoff because aside from the first at bat, there's no guarantee that he's going to come up with runners on base anyway. We're going to preview the next game for the Padres against the Blue Jays coming up in just a little bit. Coming up next, as the Padres will take on the Blue Jays for the 3rd time trying to salvage the series, and I'll play a video of the funniest fan that I've seen at Petco Park this season. Yes, he is a Blue Jays fan. I don't know where he got this lid, but I'll show you when we come back. San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
No radio, no problem. The Odyssey app allows you to stream Padres baseball from your smartphone or tablet. Just follow 97.3 The Fan.
As the experts in transmissions for over 50 years, there's nothing at AMCO we haven't heard.
So when I hit the gas,
It's just a belt.
And nothing we can't fix.
It's going. What's that?
From transmissions to brakes and everything in between. No credit? Finance your repair at AMCO.
Exclusions apply, may not be combined with any other offer. Limited time offer. Participating centers only.
People who know go to AMCO. AA MCO.
Are you ready for the April attack with the San Diego Legion, your Major League Rugby Western Conference champions, on April 14th and April 21st at Snapdragon Stadium? Whether you're a hardcore rugby fan or new to the game, you're in for a thrilling, action-packed experience. Enjoy free giveaways, tailgating, live music, pro clinics, and more. Experience the energy and raw power of professional rugby at Snapdragon Stadium on April 14th and April 21st. Secure your tickets at sdlegion.com. That's sdlegion.com. We are Legion.
You may have heard about living kidney donations. Maybe you know someone whose future depends on finding a donor. What you don't know is there's a list of 615 San Diegans waiting for a kidney at Sharp Healthcare. 615. Women and men, fathers and sons, mothers and daughters, from students to grandparents, each living day to day, waiting for the life-changing call. But kidney donations are easier than you may think. From a friend, a family member, even from a complete stranger, like you. At Sharp, the transplant team is absolutely first class. Adults can donate at any age, and you'll live normally, except for the privilege of forever knowing you saved a life. Learn more at sharp.com/givelife. 615 San Diegans are hoping you will.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school. And inflation doesn't know you've got a family to feed. But Bank of America does, and is here to help. With digital tools to help you save and local experts in San Diego, you can keep life moving forward the way you need it to. Bank of America, what would you like the power to do? Learn more at BofA.com/San Diego. Bank of America NA, member FDIC, equal credit opportunity lender.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
This Earth Day is extraordinary at Computer to Kids. C2K is celebrating 20 years of helping keep San Diego green by taking your donations of computer systems, laptops, and tablets out of landfills. For 20 years, C2K has refurbished computers and has donated thousands of computers to low-income families, seniors, and veterans across San Diego to help shrink the digital divide. Every day is Earth Day at C2K. Learn how you can help, give, donate. Go to c2sdk.org.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world, turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
As an educator, Mr. Nelson's teachings are still being quoted in schools.
Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world.
Mr. Nelson taught hope
Everyone can rise above their circumstances if they are dedicated and passionate.
and giving our best efforts.
It's always impossible until it's done.
Mr. Nelson Mandela's teachings not only united a nation, they inspire us today. Inspiration. Pass it on from passiton.com.
Lord to Lord, Lord, are you close? There's more to see. Why be afraid when you have a chance to be happy? So at time, Jesus, we won't pledge allegiance. The White House is speechless.
Braden Surprenant, live and local on the Braden Surprenant Show, each and every Sunday from 8 to 10, talking Padres baseball, eliminating you from the usual weekend noise. Padres, Blue Jays, coming up, 97.3 The Fan, first pitch at 1:10, EcoWater SoCal pregame show with Sam Levitt at 12:10, live from the loft at the Western Metal Supply Company building at Petco Park. All the fan personalities will be at the ball game today. We'll be in the suite talking with our lucky winner, the biggest fan from last year. Should be a fun time at the park. If you're driving down there now a little early, maybe want to get a brunch in down to the gas lamp before you cruise over to the ballpark. Thanks for making our day a part of yours. Looks like the sun's starting to break through the marine layer a little bit. A little cloud cover. Should be a beautiful day for baseball today. I mentioned my batting order earlier, how I would do things. I really think, and Annie agrees with this, with having Fernando Tatis Jr. leading off. I think there's something about it, about him batting leadoff and what it does for the Padres moving forward. But when you have your best player bat leadoff, I think it does a lot of things for your offense and sparks a lot of things and getting games going. And I think it puts some pressure pitches on the opposing team starting pitcher to start a game, having a guy like Fernando. I've had a couple people participating in the chat. Love to see it. You know, a lot of errors yesterday. The errors really hurt the Padres yesterday. I mean, yesterday was a loss that was... Yesterday's loss was the epitome of the Padres just not having enough depth into certain spots. You had two costly errors kill you yesterday. Whether or not they're officially ruled errors, I have to check. I can't remember off the top of my head. But you had Graham Pauley in the first inning throw the ball to Imperial Beach that ultimately led to a home run. That was a 3-run homer in the first inning when it would have been the second out and the next batter punched out. And again, you can't really think of like, well, if this happened, yada, yada, yada. It was only one error on that. So that was one of the errors that scored a run. They gave the Blue Jays a 3-0 lead. And then in the second inning, it was, Jose Azocar is a circus out there in left field. I mean, it was sniper. I mean, he slipped and fell. I mean, that's like stuff you say to like a high school kid that you're coaching, giving him a hard time. I mean, that was brutal. I mean, that's one of the ones that's not going to be an error in the book, but just, oh man, poor guy. I mean, he just slipped and fell on a routine fly ball to left. Just again, lack of depth out there. I said at the beginning of the season, and I totally agree. And again, it's not Paulie and Azocar's fault. Trying the best they can, man. They're trying to be playing at the high level. I mean, any day in the big leagues is a great day. And they're trying to stay up as long as they can in the big leagues, but they're just, they're not what the Padres need them to be right now. But you look at the Padres third base situation and some of the plays that have already not happened, and they're not like routine plays, right? I mean, they're not, they'd all be really impressive plays, but you don't fully appreciate Manny Machado playing third base until he's not playing third base for you anymore. I mean, we have been so blessed with the best defensive third baseman in the league at third base that anybody else just looks like lost. And they're not. I mean, that's just how good Manny Machado is with the plays that he makes. I mean, the plays that he makes at third are just unbelievable. I think everybody immediately goes to the one at Chase Field in Arizona. And he makes it look so effortless every ball that he gets to, but not every ball that he gets to. You know, he's going to throw a dot right to Jake Cronenworth's chest or whoever was playing first during his time as a Padre. I mean, everyone is a seed to first base on a line, bang, in the chest. Amazing. You don't get the full appreciation of Manny Machado until he's gone. So hopefully they can get him back in the defensively as quickly as possible because he's another thing, he's just fun to watch. Fun to watch. I want to bring this up. Padres fans contributed to this with the amount of people they've had at games the last couple of days. Major League Baseball drew 540,000 fans across 16 games on Saturday, making the largest non-opening week attendance for a single day in April since Saturday, April 23rd, 2016, when they drew 555,000 people. Love it. Baseball's highly attended. Highly expensive, but it's highly attended right now. Love to see it for the sport. I think a lot of that has to do with the scheduling, too. I mean, the last time, did you guys see the stat of the last time the Blue Jays played the Padres? Like what year it was here in Petco Park? It was 2013. 2013. I was like just graduating high school the last time the Blue Jays played here. I mean, look at the lineup that they had that time. I mean, I think TV had it. It was like Everett Cabrera was leading off for the Pods. I mean, that's the cool thing. I never get to watch the Blue Jays come to town. Never get to watch the Yankees come to town. They're coming to town this year. The Red Sox, Rays. I mean, you think about the AL East, obviously, but that's cool. I mean, you get to see everybody play. I love the new schedule, and obviously fans love the new schedule too. I also love seeing these fans from other teams show up. Check this out. It was at the game. I saw him at Cocktail Fest, but then like he got into the. I guess he was in a suite too. I'm gonna play it for our fans on YouTube right here. I mean, take a look at this. Take a look at this video we got of this Blue Jays fan. How do you get that mask, by the way? Did you like steal that from like the Blue Jays mascot? There's a fan in the Western Metal building, which I guess I found out later it was a bachelor party for some Blue Jays fans. Guy's wearing a Blue Jays jersey with white long sleeves. He's got his regular, looks like some Lululemon pants on, and he's got a Blue Jays head, like a mascot head on. He's got a Blue Jay fan in the Western Metal building. It was hilarious. I saw him again last night. He was walking around Petco Park last night. So if you go to the game today, be on the lookout for this gentleman, Blue Jay. The Blue Jay mascot made the trip down. Hilarious. Could you imagine if somebody found like a friar head and was just walking around Petco Park with a friar head? That'd be unbelievable. That'd be awesome. I'd love to see it. The Blue Jays fan. Incredible. Padres Blue Jays this afternoon. We're going to talk a little bit of preview as Joe Musgrove goes against Chris Bassett. That's coming up when we come back. We'll also dive into a pretty glaring issue in college athletics that might lead to the downfall of college athletics. I know I've been saying that for a long time, but how it impacts the Aztecs. We'll talk about that to finish up the show. Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every Sunday morning from 8 to 10 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Quinn and Chris on the Fan.
It's probably time that you need to get 2 feet in bounds on a catch in college now. 50 years ago, when there was very little forward passing, I could get that rule. But now these guys, they can make the catch.
I could get it. 50 years ago too. Maybe the college athlete couldn't quite,
That's right.
do that yet. They certainly can do it now. Get 2 feet down. It should be the same across the board.
Listen to Quinn and Chris weekdays from 2 to 6 on 97.3 The Fan.
TikTok, let's talk San Diego. Manny Sedano here from Sedano Ford. Time's ticking. Rides are flying off my lot faster than TikTok trends go out of style. So I need your ride to fill my lot fast. And I'll give you a lot more than just plain trade-in value. TikTok, let's beat the clock because time is ticking. Cancel your old ride today and get way more than it's worth. Worried your credit will lose you followers? I'm always your biggest fan. My team works round the clock to help you get approved, but TikTok is a race against the clock. So bring me your old ride today and you could get way more than just plain trade-in value. I'm Manny Sedano, and I'm your dealer for the people. See all the cars at SedanoFord.com. That's right, SedanoFord.com, or visit us at 8970 La Mesa Boulevard in the city of La Mesa.
Order requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price determines actual trade allowance. Negative equity may be refinanced. TikTok is a registered trademark of TikTok Limited, which is not affiliated with Sedano Ford.
It's free admission to the Spring Home Garden Show, April 27th and 28th, Del Mar Fairground. Special low exclusive show deals, hundreds of exhibits, seminars, expert advice, buy, grow, or direct. Free admission April 27th and 28th, Del Mar Fairgrounds.
Many of the successes you've had began with a great opportunity. Now, here's another one. Get started on your degree or certificate right here in San Diego. Choose from more than 125 degree and certificate programs, faster onboarding, and more. Plus, you can get personalized local support services and take online or hybrid courses right here in San Diego. Visit UMGC in San Diego or at umgc.edu/SD. That's UMGC in San Diego or at umgc.edu/SD.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy happiness. But money did buy your boat, where you find peace fishing, unlike at home with 3 teenage daughters. Because fish never argue about who stole whose crop top, or get mad the other fish used up all the hot water. No, they just swim around, never embarrassed to be seen with you in public. So save money by bundling your boat or RV insurance with home or auto from Progressive. And buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. Earth Day is April 22nd. Replace your current shower head with a low-flow shower head to save water for years to come. What's your one thing?
Hey, gang, it's your old pal, Woodsy. Imagine if you would waking up this time next week and being 100% personal debt-free. That's credit cards, that's car loans, even personal loans that you might have taken out. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make that happen for you. Homeowners turning their home's equity into cash almost instantly with Loan Pronto's AI-based system. You can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You could get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home, use that money to pay off all of your other loans that you have out there. The average homeowner is saving over $850 a month doing this. Your home's value is up. Use that to wipe out your credit card debt. Get some money for a home improvement project that you've been putting off. Now's the time to do that. Hundreds of thousands of dollars at your fingertips. Approval is just minutes away. So call them today, 619-207-4336. Ask again about their Equity Express line of credit, 619-207-4336, or go to loanpronto.com. 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Without the ones like you who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Good folks at Wendy's have a revolutionary new product for you. Introducing the new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. It's like a time machine that takes you all the way back to now, the year 2024. It's the classic creamy, orangey flavor you remember. Dare I say, it's new-timey. It's the flavor you grew up with, just all grown up. Head over to your local Wendy's establishment and get yours while supplies last. The new Orange Dreamsicle Frosty. Here for the now, for now.
Limited time only. Participating Wendy's.
No radio, no problem. The Odyssey app allows you to stream Padres baseball from your smartphone or tablet. Just follow 97.3 The Fan.
Sun's popping through here in America's finest city. You know, some California soul. A little remix version of it, though. Again, I apologize to YouTube chat. You guys are missing out. The rejoin music, top notch, here on the Braden Surprenant Show. Live and local each and every Sunday morning from 8 to 10. This is my last segment of the show already. Went by like that. Again, time flies when you're having fun. Padres Blue Jays game 3 coming up at 1:10 Pacific time. 12:10 pregame show on the EcoWater SoCal pregame show with Sam Levitt. I'll be heading down to the ballpark at the end of this segment. Get ready for Padres baseball, watching the press box a little bit, then head over to the suite. Well, the other fan personalities, will be a good time at the ballpark as the Padres again try to salvage the series against the Toronto Blue Jays. Talked about lineup construction today, how I would do the lineup. A lot of Padres fans chiming in with how they would do their lineup. Always great sports radio talk. Trying to find the answers here, trying to help the Padres out, get through their offensive struggles. I'd love to see a bounce back today from the starting pitcher and Joe Musgrove. And I said it before at the beginning, he just doesn't look right. But even then, he's still giving you innings. I mean, the 2 times that they have won, he has given you 6 innings. And he's grinding out there, especially after tough starts. So hopefully, especially the first 2 innings, if the Padres can put up some zeros, that'd be great, because they've been down early against the Blue Jays, and it's been tough to try to come back in these games. I think the bullpen's done an exceptional job of just throwing up zeros, giving their offense a chance, but got to be able to bounce back against the Blue Jays, not get swept. You want to avoid sweeps as much as possible and get ready for Colorado. 4-game set against the Rockies. Hopefully you can jump on them. It's always tough against Colorado. Bud Black's always got his guys ready to go, and the Padres have a tough time usually at Coors Field. No lead is ever safe at Coors Field. I do want to mention yesterday, I tried the, has anybody tried the birria tacos? Or not tacos, the birria egg rolls? Oh my God. Those are phenomenal, by the way. The birria egg rolls are phenomenal. You can get them at the Ballast Point bar or whatever at Petco Park. Must order. They're basically like flautas. They taste like flautas. But that is just, a little consomme there on the side. Those were amazing. I might have to go back down there today and get some. They were so good yesterday. Ballpark food at Petco Park is all time. It's a big reason why they're a number 1 ballpark in Major League Baseball. I mean, what other place would you like to go to watch a game? I've been to a lot of Major League Baseball parks. I'm going to go to 2 more coming up. Oh, yeah, garlic cheese fries, Gaglione Brothers. That's money, too. That's also money. I've been to Dodger Stadium. I've been to Oracle Park back when it was called, I think it was SBC Park or something like that. I've been to Colorado. I've been to Texas. I've been to Yankee Stadium. Petco Park is just better than every ballpark I've ever been to. I try not to be biased about it either. And I got to check out Pittsburgh because I've heard PNC's cool. I'm going to go into the Great American Bandbox to watch the Padres play the Reds in a couple of weeks. Now, that should be interesting. Tickets for those series are just so cheap in Cincinnati, my lord. And then the next day, driving up to see the Cubs play the Braves in Chicago to check out Wrigley Field. But it's hard pressed to find a place that is better to watch a ball game than Petco Park, especially with all the upgrades they've done, how they've kept it up, the food, just phenomenal, phenomenal stuff. We're going to talk about the Padres in just a second. I do want to mention, it was being talked about on the show before mine about college athletics, and we had some reports this week about more lawsuits filed against the NCAA about name, image, and likeness and identifying, whether or not players are employees or not, and every school seems to be getting sued for their athletes about they're actually employees and they're not student athletes, and getting rid of amateurism and all that fun stuff. And I think that a good point was made, and I agree with it. I mean, something need to be addressed with name, image, and likeness. But what the NCAA has done in not doing anything is created utter chaos that's going to lead to the destruction and probably the end of college athletics. I mean, it's getting to a ridiculous point. Marcus Ziegler had in his article, Micah Parrish is transferring to Ohio State. He got $400,000 in NIL money. San Diego State's budget for basketball is $1.5 million. They can't afford to pay Micah Parrish $400,000, but Ohio State can. And it's playing into the whole, the rich are getting richer kind of attitude. I mean, there's nothing stopping, to be honest with you, there's nothing stopping a small school from just shelling out tons of money to be really good at one sport. And there might be some schools in the future that do that. But it's setting a very interesting precedent for college athletics. And here's the thing where it gets very interesting to me. Because they're challenging a lot of different rules that used to be in place. Being an employee and getting paid to play on top of the NIL and unlimited transfers and no contracts. But it's getting to a point that if the college sports scene decides to, and I think it's only a matter of time, right? So take Caitlin Clark, for example. Caitlin Clark is probably, and just from I'm going to call it a salary standpoint. I know NIL is not really a salary, right? And she's making like $20 million in endorsements. I mean, Nike's going to sign her to a huge contract. But from a salary perspective, she's probably taking a pay cut to play for the Indiana Fever. The amount of money she could make at Iowa compared to the amount of money she can make in the WNBA are drastically different, right? But she has to go to the WNBA because eligibility rules, right? She ran out of time. She can't not. She has to leave eventually, right? She can't stay there forever. You got to be there during your 4 years of school, 5 years if you got, you take a red shirt or whatever, because it's supposed to be for kids getting an education and they're playing sports while they're getting an education. But if these players become employees with antitrust laws, what is keeping them from just suing and be like, hey, you can't tell me how long I can stay here? Caitlin Clark can make way more money playing in Iowa than she played for the Indiana Fever. And she's like one of the phenom players, right? She's going to be making money regardless because she's marketable all over the place. But what about Micah Parrish? Micah Parrish is not going to the NBA. I mean, it's kind of 50-50, if not 75-25 in the opposite way, whether or not Jaden Ledee will make it in the NBA. Micah Parrish ain't making it in the NBA. He's not that far off from league minimum in the NBA playing at Ohio State. So if you're a guy like Micah Parrish, you're an employee of a school, you're making $400,000, and you're really good at the college level, why should I, if I'm Micah Parrish, have to stop playing at a school where I'm making money? You can't, based on antitrust laws, you can't limit how long somebody is allowed to work. You can't discriminate based on age or anything like that. So how much longer is it going to be if you make the athletes student athletes into employees? And how long does it take for them to be like, why do we need eligibility anymore? I'm just asking questions. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I'm just asking questions here. So let's say you eliminate the eligibility requirements. I think you're running into a situation right now, and the pro teams are going to have to start getting involved, because now all of a sudden the pro teams are going to have to start bidding with the college teams. I mean, they're basically pros now anyway, right? If you don't have any eligibility requirements and a school like Iowa can pay you, a couple of $1 million to play women's college basketball for them or women's basketball for them more than WNBA, why wouldn't these players just stick to playing in college? Get more fans in college. There's more pageantry in college. There's more, passion. Why not go play for the college team? A lot of guys like tweener NFL players that would probably dominate playing in a college level, making a ton of money. I mean, I talked about it before. We know that there's guys at Texas A&M that are backup players that are getting $400,000. That's not that far off from being a practice squad player in the National Football League. You're still in the top 1% of earners. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are making that kind of cash that will never sniff the NFL. Why hold them back from making as much money as possible? I mean, you already see college stadiums outdraw NFL stadiums with the SEC. Could you imagine the SEC kept most of their players? I mean, the NFL is a different level because they can spend a lot of money on a lot of different players, but there might be some guys that probably make more in the playing at a college than playing in the first, getting drafted in the first round. I bet you Caleb Williams can make a ton of money at USC. I bet you can get a ton of money playing at USC. I bet you make more money playing at USC than what he would probably get on his first salary with the Chicago Bears, just based on the allotment. Why not stay in college? There's no eligibility requirements. I mean, it's leading to a professional aspect. I think a lot of people are finally understanding. And I'm talking like the diehard sports people, like a lot of common folks are like, well, they're doing all the work, like they should be getting paid. I think they're starting to realize why professional leagues have the rules that they have. Why professional leagues have free agency, why they sign contracts, why they have trades, why they have waiver claims, why they have cuts. I mean, all of these business rules of being a pro. So when this finally breaks up, because the NCAA is dead in the water anyway, and they turn all of these college sports into professional sports, I'm curious to see what the first collective bargaining agreement is going to be, and whether or not, and here's the other thing that's interesting, whether or not colleges are just going to lease their logos, facilities, and team names to private entities, collect money on that to support the rest of their school, and then let a business take care of everything else, or the professional leagues, and they just have pro teams with college names. Open up a real can of worms with this NIL thing, which needed to be addressed. Yeah, it's great. I mean, good for Mike Parrish making $400,000. I mean, there's a lot of kids that are making a ton of money right now that otherwise would not. But the new era of college athletics that's basically just going to be another professional league is going to be very interesting. I'd be curious to see how that plays out. Padres, Blue Jays today. We'll kind of recap and finish with some Padres baseball. I said my lineup earlier today, how I would lay it out for the Padres moving forward. I really love Fernando in the leadoff spot. I'd have him bat leadoff. I'd follow it with Machado. You're kind of your 1-2 punch at the top of the order. I'd go Xander 3, give him a better opportunity, I think. And a lot of people go like, well, he's hitting under 200. Why would you bat him third? The guy's a pro, and I think he needs to be in a spot he feels comfortable with. And a spot he feels comfortable with statistically is third in the lineup. Go look at his baseball reference page. Guy's great in the 3 spot. Maybe that's where he needs to be. Jake Cronenworth 4, Jerickson Profar 5, Luis Camposano 6. Hassan Kim 7, whoever's playing third base 8, and Jackson Merrill 9 would be my batting order for the Padres moving forward. I have not seen one yet for the Padres today. That doesn't mean they haven't put one out yet, but I haven't seen one. It usually comes out around this time. So I'm curious what's holding back on that, but we'll pass that along on the social media pages here at 97 through the fan when the lineup does come about. Pregame show, EcoWater SoCal pregame show with Sam Levitt will start at 12:10. First pitch at 1:10. Joe Musgrove going against Chris Bassett of the Toronto Blue Jays. Need a bounce back out of Joe today. Would love a bounce back out of Joe today. He's got new innings, but we'd like to see some vintage Joe Musgrove, and hopefully he could build off some of his last couple of starts. I mean, even the last start against the Brewers, I mean, he didn't look very good at the beginning, but then he started to turn it on a little bit later. So I hope that's the case today against Toronto. But Padres can need a win. You know, they can't get swept at home after a great road trip of going 4-2 on the road. And again, I mean, you're in another situation here with the Padres where it's just the home games. They have not been very good at Petco Park this year. Now, granted, on the home and away, I mean, you know, one of those games is in Korea. They have one extra win on the road, technically, because they won the road game in Korea, and they have one loss at home extra. But they're 5-8 at home this season. So take that game out. They're 5-7, you know, and then they're 6-4 on the road. We've seen that out of Padres teams the last couple of years where they felt more comfortable on the road than they have at Petco Park. And they got rid of the problem of the batter's eye. So I don't know what the deal is. Again, it's still early. They've only played, 20-something games, but stay pace with the Dodgers right now because the Dodgers are not doing very well. 3-7 in their last 10. This is the great opportunity to jump on the Dodgers and be right there to put pressure on them early in the season. Solidify yourself at the top of the standings throughout the year while you play 500 ball the rest. I mean, this is the perfect time to do it. And I mentioned that earlier in the show. Teams will go 500 ball for the majority of the year and then go on a little bit of a run, and that will be a playoff team that goes in the tank will be your teams that don't make the playoffs. That's honestly the difference between playoff teams and non-playoff teams in Major League Baseball with the amount of games you play at 162. So another game today against the Blue Jays. They got 4 against Colorado, and then they got the Phillies. And the Phillies are as tough as they come at 13-8 this season. The only team that really got them was the Atlanta Braves. But we know how good the Braves are, who you'll see in May. So a tough couple of months here. I think there's a lot of ideas. It's funny, like in the chat, and we're running out of time. Abraham Ochoa said, some things about the pros and the NFL and college. I think there's something working out there in the future where it's going to be like that. And that's going to be very interesting to see. I mean, I don't know where San Diego State sits in this lineup. I mean, is San Diego State going to cease to exist when it comes to college athletics? I hope not. I don't think they're going to be part of the top echelon thing either because they want to make that like an exclusive club. I mean, the proposed Super League that the NFL wants to be a part of with college athletics, they said 70 teams, but TV companies want 30-something teams, which is the main problem with sports in general is TV calls all the shots. But at the same time, as much as you complain about that, television is what makes sports what they are. This is the reason why sports are so popular. Television and gambling, they pay the bill. They get to say what's going on. I mean, that's kind of how it works, right? If you're fitting the bill, you get to say. So if college athletics is going to turn into the minor leagues for football, I think it'd be very interesting. Don't be surprised if you start seeing some drafts in college drafts. Enter your name, draft in the SEC and all these other leagues, and pick your spot after that. That might be what the future is. I mean, there's so many endless possibilities with this in college athletics. I don't know about the relegation and promotion system for European soccer with college football and the pros. New York Jets have a bad year. They get replaced by Michigan or Penn State or something like that. It would be hilarious. That'll do it for me on the Braden Surprenant Show. Thanks again for all of you for tuning in. Talked a lot of Padres baseball today, a little bit on the NIL with the chaos that is college athletics. Hopefully you guys all enjoy the game this afternoon. Hopefully the Padres get a win against Toronto. Stop this 3-game losing skid. They won 3 in a row, and now they've lost 3 in a row. Got to get back to their winning ways here after taking 5 of 6 before these last 3 games. I'm Braden Surprenant. If you want to tune in to more of my stuff, follow me on YouTube or subscribe to my YouTube channel at @B_SURP. Thanks again for liking this video on 97.3 The Fans page. Be sure to follow me on all social media outlets at B_SURP. And for all of us here at 97.3 The Fan, hope you guys have a great day, great afternoon in America's finest city. And we'll talk to you tomorrow on Annie and Elston from 10 to 2. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's been the Braden Surprenant Show live and local on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.